times a day, stoking the MAGA base in an endless series of campaign rallies and sounding crazier by the minute. He's punchy and tired and looks worn out. You and your campaign colleagues have even started those elliptical conversations about what role you might play in a Democratic White House, mostly couched in the faux modest, "oh, I just want to help the future president any way I can" tones of people who are already plotting for office space and picking out curtains. A few of your older, wiser hands don't seem to share the infectiously optimistic election night mood. They lack the same sunny optimism the candidate displayed as she sat in the holding suite after the last long day of campaigning ended. They keep staring nervously at the 538 map and running the same mental calculations over electoral college numbers they've done 1,000 times. But hey, you feel really great about this. The campaign's social media metrics were weird the last few days, though, and your data and analytics people were sending increasingly worrying messages about the massive inflows of ads from brand new super PACs and 501c4 dark money groups. You convinced yourself these were just the final gasps of the Trumpian grifters making a last buck on the Donald, or perhaps his Russian friends trying an end run. The Trump campaign and the RNC, but I repeat myself, ad buys were scattershot, and on issues that seemed off-kilter. As the night starts, the ballroom is packed to the gills with eager, happy people ready to put Trump and Trumpism in the rear-view mirror of history. The media risers, crowded with the A talent from every network, are jammed. The results are about to come in, and the army of reporters in the back of the ballroom is in a near frenzy. You didn't repeat the Hillary mistake of not visiting the states Trump and his Russian allies scored in 2016. Your candidate made the stops, though the crowds were never quite as large or as raucous as you wanted. Your state organizers tell you you've got armies of volunteers knocking on doors, making calls, and driving turnout. Hell, none of the final tracking polls showed Trump even close except in Michigan, home of Kid Rock and one of the most stark political divides between the city and suburbs anywhere in the nation. In Michigan, his numbers weren't just surprising, they were downright terrifying, but your pollster assured you it was an outlier and that you'd still take Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, and Wisconsin. The exit polls were closer than you wanted, but still looked good. As the first results were about to roll in, the AP, Washington Post, New York Times, Decision Desk, and Politico analysts started pinging you and the rest of the campaign senior staff. What's going on in Michigan? Do you hear this stuff out of Florida? Something's off the rails, and you don't know quite what it is yet. By 9:30, it's not looking like you expected. Ohio is showing a razor-thin Trump lead. He's winning Michigan handily. Florida is Florida, and though you'd projected a 4-point lead, by 10 p.m. the vote total shows Trump up by 65,000, and the Panhandle hasn't even fully reported yet. Florida's enormous influx of Puerto Rican voters meant the Democrats were on track for a stunning victory there, right? Wait, didn't someone mention in a meeting that the Hispanic turnout operation in Florida was a bit smoke and mirrors? You post high numbers in South Florida, but everywhere else in the Sunshine State, Trump is tearing you apart. When the Panhandle does report, everything outside the blue enclave of Tallahassee is posting numbers in the low 60% range for Donald fucking Trump. Your mind flickers to an angry set of emails and Slack messages a few weeks before about avoiding the issue of gun control in North Florida. But your candidate insisted not only on an assault weapons ban, but a ban on semi-automatics as well. Metrics show that north of the I-4 corridor, you're losing everywhere, except liberal Alachua and Leon counties by double digits. What the hell is happening in Wisconsin is your next question. With the Democratic gains of 2018, it seemed like a lock that Trump would go down in flames, especially after the disastrous scam of Foxconn left Wisconsin workers holding the bag for a failed deal with China. Wisconsin farmers had suffered terribly from Trump's trade war. When you see that the race is essentially tied, you think, what the actual fuck is going on here? A few thousand votes turned the easy layup of Pennsylvania into a disastrous loss. Hell, even Minnesota is closer than you thought. You get destroyed in Ohio, with a record rural turnout offsetting the cities. In nearly every swing state, you're losing everywhere outside the metros and most affluent suburbs. Turnout is sky high, which your models predicted would be great for your candidate, but even then you're just missing the margins. That's why, come midnight, your candidate is in the suite, calling Donald Trump to concede the election. There are tears all around. You can hear Trump on the speakerphone, curt and smug. You dread seeing that first triumphant tweet from the once and future president.